I don't care if you thought my father was great or arrogant. It doesn't matter to me whether you were a Chrétien liberal or a Turner liberal or a Martin liberal or any other kind of liberal. The era of hyphenated liberals ends right here, right now, tonight.
That's Justin Trudeau speaking to his party after winning the leadership last night. He's trying hard to erase the battle lines of the past, but it might be hard to shake history with a name like Trudeau. I mean, can he? Does he even need to do that? I want to bring in someone who's an expert on that name. John English is the author of a 2-volume biography called The Life of Pierre Elliott Trudeau, and he joins me here in studio. Welcome to you, John.
Hi, Savannah.
As you watch this, you can not probably help having impressions of Justin Trudeau based on all the knowledge you have of his father. What do you think of him?
Well, I think he's impressive. I think he's broken with the past to a large extent. At the first, he obviously depended on his father's name. He'd be the first one to admit it. But during the campaign, I think he became more of his own man. Obviously, a lot of his support is because he is a Trudeau, and people remember those times. But people get to know him during a campaign, and this was a long campaign. And he's been in the media all the time, as you well know.
Mm-hmm. You say that at some point he became his own person. That he did, but can he ever leave that name behind him?
I don't think he can, and I don't think he wants to. You know, when you think of dynasties from the Adams family through the, not the TV show, but the John Adams, right through to the Kennedy family, there is a brand. There's a brand that he represents, and it does say something about Canada. It says something about the Liberal Party. So I don't think he wants to shake it. He looks a lot different. He doesn't look like Pierre did. And he sounds different as well, but there are many similarities, flawlessly bilingual. And the criticisms are much the same as the ones made about Trudeau in 1968.
Let's go through some of the similarities first. What do you notice?
Well, the similarity is he is a Quebecer. He's fully bicultural and bilingual. Mm-hmm. He represents a certain point of view on Quebec. He's clear on that. He represents his father's point of view in that respect. Quebec is important to him in a way it was to Trudeau. Times are very, very different, though. The other similarity is he, surprisingly enough, is underestimated. Trudeau was very underestimated in 1968. A lot of people said he was a dilettante. Some people became Liberal leaders, like Claude Ryan said that. Laurier Lapierre, future Liberal senator, said that this man was constitutionally stupid and was a dilettante. Well, he turned out not to be that. And I think what they underestimated was Pierre, despite the appearance of being a playboy, was a very hard worker and supremely self-disciplined. And it's true of Justin as well. He looks not disciplined, but we saw in that boxing match, he prepares, he takes it carefully. Mm-hmm. I've noticed in his speeches, he doesn't use notes, but he remembers his lines. Mm-hmm. So he is prepared just as his father did.
And we saw that in the acceptance speech last night. What did you make of that speech?
Well, I thought it was a very good speech, and he got across the message which a Liberal leader has to get across. There are no Martin Liberals, there's no Trudeau Liberals, Pierre Trudeau Liberals, and then no Chrétien Liberals. The party has to get together because that, as he said, is what served the party so very much.
Let's talk about the biggest differences then. You mentioned that image of being a playboy that Pierre Trudeau had. Justin Trudeau certainly does not. You see his wife in so many shots, etc. What do you see as the biggest differences between these two Trudeaus?
Well, the difference is, what, almost 50 years. And it's a very different time. Pierre Trudeau emerged from a very different Quebec, fought very different issues. And Justin is dealing with a time that's very different. His message about middle-class Canadians really says these are bad times for middle-class Canadians. When Pierre came to power, we were going through in Canada the best time in our history. We had grown so rapidly, it had been so successful. That's why we brought in Medicare and all those other things. With Justin, he's going to have to deal with a very different kind of Canada, one that is relatively poor and much more difficult for younger people.
What are you going to be watching for in the days and weeks, years ahead of us before we get to another federal election in this country? Do you think there will be a closing of the gap between the two Trudeaus? Will we start to not refer to Justin Trudeau as Justin? And when we refer to Trudeau, we mean Pierre Trudeau?
I think that he'll move away from his father simply because, as I said, the times are different, and we will get to know him better. The House of Commons is quite an amphitheater. It's where gladiators fight. So you'll get to know him as he is in the House of Commons. As I said earlier, he doesn't look like Pierre. He has different interests. He has a family with 2 children, which took Pierre a little while to get. And they have a different kind of image. So I suspect when we come to the election in 2015, it'll be between Stephen Harper, Thomas Mulcair, and Justin Trudeau, not Pierre Trudeau.
Thank you so much, John. Great to have you in the program.
Thanks, Anna.
Trudeau biographer and author John English.